We have said it over and over again. Any agenda from Fulani Islamic fundamentalists will be met with heavy resistance. We know the games they are playing. We know what they are doing. Now they have seen that the South are united against anything northern Nigeria. And now that the Middle Belt have woken up, some forces, some very few people are pushing different agenda, using social media, going to different platforms to make sure that they cause crisis, they cause disagreement between the South. Currently now, Yoruba Muslims, Yoruba Christians, traditionalists in the Southwest are having clashes. And these are the seeds planted by some of these intentional Fulani Islamic fundamentalists. Now, there is another narrative that is being pushed. They said that only Kano, the population of Kano and Kaduna alone is more than the whole of the Southeast. We agree that the population of Kano and Kaduna alone is more than the whole of the Southeast. This is being pushed by a social media handle of the Arewa. Remember, Arewa is a Hausa Fulani word. In fact, it has its roots in Fulani. When they join Hausa Fulani, just know that Fulani is the one that has anything that has to do with Hausa Fulani. Arewa is a Hausa Fulani word, not a Middle Belt word. So if you are talking about Arewa, you are talking about the core north. The Middle Belt is not part of it. So this Arewa Twitter handle, social media platform, has been pushing different agendas of late. One of which, the population of Kano and Kaduna alone is more than the whole of the Southeast. They have left the Southwest. They want to put divisions, as they have done before, as their predecessors have done before. Usually the North will put katakata between the Southwest, the Southeast, and South-South and rule over them. That's why till today, Igbo, Yoruba are having clashes on. I don't think they are going to resolve their issues. These issues are created from the division intentionally created by these Fulani fundamentalists. The young ones are waking up, seeing their agenda, seeing them for who they are, especially with this Tinubu's presidency. Tinubu's presidency has exposed a lot. Now let's look at their gimmicks. What are they trying to push? First, they lied to the world that there are more Muslims than Christians in Nigeria, which is a very big lie. Christians are more than Muslims in Nigeria. The population of the North is overrated. If you conduct a census now, an independent census, not the one conducted by a National Population Commission headed by a Fulani or a northern person that will be towing to a northern agenda, and when they go to the north and start counting, when they want to go to north and start counting the population, they inflate it. So they use that population to get local government, to get allocation. While the truth is that Christians are much more than Muslims in Nigeria. That's the truth. Go to different states. In Lagos, how many Muslims are there? Most populated states in Nigeria, how many Muslims are there? In the whole of South-South, in the whole of Southeast, in Lagos, in the whole of Southwest, the Middle Belt, Southern Kaduna, and some southern parts of the North, we have more Christians than Muslims. Then how will somebody come and tell me that Muslims are more than Christians? They use these Muslims are more than Christians as a pretext to join the OIC, Organization of Islamic Countries. They use that agenda, drag Nigeria, put them in OIC. These people are terrible. Now, Nigeria is a member of the Organization of Islamic Countries. I don't know what you think, but Nigeria is a member, and they see Nigeria as a Muslim state because they believe the narrative has been pushed that Muslims are more than Christians in Nigeria. Now we are debunking that narrative that Christians are much more than Muslims. Look at there are various data that you use to know that Christians are more than Muslims. Now, then they forced Sharia, a contradictory code of law, into the constitution and said Christians would not be affected by it. All of a sudden, our constitution, we have Sharia. We don't have anything, Mosaic law. A constitution, a secular country such as Nigeria, we're having two laws for two different sets of people. That means for the secular people and for the Muslims. What about the Christians? As a secular country, we don't need any Sharia encoded in the constitution, but they use those pretexts for who they are, manipulators. These guys are liars and manipulators. Yes, Islam allows you to lie against an infidel. If there's an infidel involved in anything, Islam allows you to lie. Any Muslim scholar should debunk this I just said. They forced Sharia, a contradictory code of law, into the constitution and said Christians would not be affected by it, which is a big lie. Any state, any constituency, any society governed by Sharia, it affects non-Muslim, because Islam is predatory. They are like predators. They cross their boundary. Predators. I've had instances of when people were attacked during Ramadan fasting. Christians were eating and they were attacked by non-Muslims, all these fanatics. What have been happening before our koro eyes? Because somebody is fasting here, you don't talk to him. Because of their way of life, they affect other people's way of life. So they are lying to you that no, it's not going to. It is going to affect. It's going to affect non-Muslims. Yes. Now, then they mocked Christianity by bringing out fake bishops, something they will never berate in Islam. It's a gradual thing. There's an agenda, and agenda starts with opening prayer and some other things, and they move close. They move you from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. From Sharia, that no, this Sharia, Christians will not be affected by it too. All of a sudden, you see some people just come down from one bus and start praying. The bus is suspended. Somebody will just block the road on a Friday, block the road. The people that are non-Christians are affected by that prayer, that Juma prayer on Friday, are affected. The road is blocked because of some people are organizing prayer. Then what about Sharia? Sharia, if a Muslim is angry with a Christian, they will drag the Christian into that Sharia court without the Christian's consent. Without his consent, they will drag him into the Sharia court. That is what happens. What about you stoning somebody that is insulting, in quote, blaspheming Muhammad? That person, if he's a Christian, it doesn't have anything to do with you. Why stone a Christian because he or she insults Muhammad? If he's a Muslim, you can take the Muslim to a Sharia court. But jungle justice, when you have Sharia in any system, in any society, there's always jungle justice, religious extremism and jungle justice. Now after that, they now installed 2 Muslims as president and vice president. Muslim ticket. They did that and they were bragging with it. I tell you, these guys were bragging with the Muslim ticket. Somebody said that you people that are Christians, can you run with a Christian ticket and win? We ran with Muslim ticket and we won. So nobody can do what we did. This is how they creep in little by little. We have Muslim ticket, but Tinubu disappointed them to a great extent. We heard that some people were saying that one of the agreements was that Tinubu allowed the propagation of Sharia into the southwest. They will allow Sharia to be established, Sharia courts and whatever, to be established in the southwest and other southern parts of the country. But this man played them with Tinubu during the electionary campaign. He could not work, he's almost dying. They thought, oh, this man fit die. You. Let's just watch. They had so many agreements. Now Tinubu has disappointed them, especially with this tax bill. He said that we are not going back on the tax bill. The tax bill is a must. So after installing 2 Muslims, after bringing out fake bishop, which they will not accept from their end, they now install 2 Muslims as president and vice president, which it will be very hard for you to see Christian. These guys will not vote. But thank God the voting bloc has been divided. We have the middle belt on their own and let them carry, I don't know. I wish Tinubu can go and recount Nigerians. Census should be carried on Nigerians over and over again to get the actual population of the north, because these guys, the lies they are bringing to the table is much. It's much now. Every other people will count their own, normal. But here in the north, they will restrict you from some places and just one imaginary figure they just bring and give to you. That's what they do. If Tinubu can do one other thing, let there be a population census. Let them count the north. Nigeria should be counted again. Now they now ban traditional worshippers in Ilorin. It says they will not be carried out in Ilorin. Ilorin, they say it's not Yoruba land. Even the Saraki, former Senate president, is not Yoruba. They say it's not Yoruba. He's a Fulani. He's a Fulani, whatever. So creepy. They come creepy. They enter from the back door. They enter and sit in the parlor. From parlor, they send you away from your parlor. They take over the house. That's what they do. They have banned traditional worshippers from carrying out their Iseshe Day festival in Ilorin, a Yoruba town and state. And this is what happens when you just keep quiet and allow these people bring in whatever they are bringing into your system, into where you are. Don't forget, they came with the pretext that it's not going to affect Christians. Look at all my analogies. They are scholars and whoever they are, they come with the pretext. Hey, it's only for Muslims, it will not affect Christians. But at the end of the day, when you bring out all these evidences against them, you see that they are manipulators. They know what they are doing. Anywhere you find Sharia is going to affect non-Muslims. Yes, it's going to affect non-Muslims. Somebody has said she is a witness to a Sharia court whereby a Christian is brought into their Sharia court without his consent. You have an issue with an Islamic person, but he takes you and drags you to Sharia court without to go and get judgment from a Sharia council because he has the power to, and because he has some instrumentality of authority to drag you there without your consent. And their PhD holders, their graduates will come and start telling you, no, it's not going to affect Christians. It's a lie. That is why in the Southeast, they will never try it because we know their system and gimmicks. You can never bring it. We saw some Anambra, Enugu imams celebrating Sharia, whatever. We saw a picture. They were celebrating it. And this one called himself an Igbo name, and he's an imam, and he's a sheikh. You can only be sheikh in where you are, gaining from the Fulani hegemony, Fulani whoever, cabals, that are offering to give you one or two things in return for your conversion to Sharia, because that's what they do. They give you something in return. You give in exchange. A Christian comes to meet you, you get convicted, and you give your life to Jesus Christ. Yes, that's how Christians do their things. No force, no manipulation, no whatsoever. Now the next thing they do that, they started putting up random signboards mocking Christianity in Lagos. They start with Lagos because I told you before, Lagos is Nigeria. Lagos, as you see, Lagos is Nigeria. Anything that succeeds in Lagos has the likelihood of succeeding anywhere. Has the likelihood, because Nigeria is represented in Lagos. Every state must have every single 36 states must have a representative in Lagos. So they started putting on random. They just do as if it doesn't mean. They know what they are doing. It means a lot. They know what they are doing. They just put it and come on their face and do as if nothing happened. My brother, something happened. These guys know what they are doing. It's not a coincidence. Jesus Christ is not mentioned in the Quran. We'll keep on repeating it again. Jesus Christ is not mentioned in the Quran. How come they found the name Jesus Christ in their soundboard? They should represent the Jesus that is in their Quran. The Bible and Christianity that existed 600 years before Islam, the Islamic people are the ones that will tell you, in the land of Israel and in the land of Saudi, two different people from different nationality. The Bible they are quoting has a different nationality. The Israel are the choosing people of God. They are the Ishmael that are not choosing. They are the ones now quoting the Bible for you. They are telling you how to run the Bible. This is a misplaced priority. I'm telling you, these guys, their agenda is just to dominate, and it will not work. It does not have the capacity to work, because the more they present themselves like this, people continue hating on this particular religion. They keep on hating. If they present themselves to be troublesome, cancerous, people really want to leave Islam. But because of the fact that they are under their parents, or they are under a system whereby if they leave, they will be haunted to be killed, they just on low key be doing their thing. They are not even interested in whatever Islam has to bring, because they have seen for themselves that this is too good to be a religion of peace. Now let's move on. They lied that there are more Muslims than Christians. Yes, that one I've said it, a big fallacy. Now they are planning to impose Sharia in the southwest under this pretext. It has been a long, patient, and sustained push to turn Nigeria into an Islamic state. It has been a long, patient, and sustained push to turn Nigeria into an Islamic state. Which tribe has that quality? That they can stay for long and patient, and they will be patient to push their agenda. The Fulani. The Fulani, Hausa Fulani. However they are mixed up, the Fulani Islamic fundamentalists, they are the ones that for a very long time, they will continue. They don't ever give up. They will continue for a very, 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 very long time. They are patient, and they will sustain that push for a very long time until they turn Nigeria into an Islamic state. It won't happen. If they try to do that, I think if they make that attempt, they will divide Nigeria. But what they are really doing, that I see, is that politically, they are trying to cause political crisis in the southwest so that the southwest will disagree with what is happening to the north. The north have said, okay, these people under Tinubu's government, they are causing division in the north, Abi. The middle belt are saying no, the houses are saying no, and they want to leave us empty-handed. Let's come together now. Let's find how we can push some narratives. Let's look for influencers on social media. Our brothers that are on social media, pay them money. Let them push some narratives. Let it cause katakata. Now they will be laughing that, oh yes, the Yoruba Muslims and Christians are having a field day. They are fighting themselves over the Sharia of a thing. It must be in Lagos. It must not be in Lagos. If it comes to Lagos, we don't want Lagos or the southwest to be like Zamfara and some parts of the north. No, what Allah says is what Allah says. You must submit yourself to the will of Allah. Sharia is also another submission to the will of Allah. Sharia is submission to the will of Allah. These people are exposing themselves. They are laughing that Yoruba Muslims and Yoruba Christians are crying, but they dare not put their foot when these young people are determined. These Yoruba Muslims that you are talking, if they are determined to make sure that they stamp out anything, but these extremists, they dare not, because this is not the north. If it were to be the north now, they will see crisis, violence, and this and that. But thank God for this youth for pushing back. This the agenda will not agenda. In today's Nigeria, whatever agenda they have will not agenda. And for your population much more, in whatever way, Kaduna and Kano bigger than the southeast. You can look at quantity, but let's look at quality. The quality of life in the southeast, and the quality of life in Kaduna. If you have population, which most of them are lies, and most of them are, your population entails the population of other people, share Kaduna and Kano. You have Igbos, majority. So when we look at Igbos, majority in every other 36 states, in every other state, when you count the number of Igbos in the north alone, they are much more than the number of Igbo in the southeast. The number of Igbo in Lagos alone, much more than the number of people in the southeast. In the southwest, Igbos are more outside, and Igbos make the population of these places. So if you are looking at it critically, there's no way Kano and Kaduna is more than southeasterners. What of people that have traveled out of the country? Europe, the West. What of people that have traveled around Africa? The population of Igbos in Africa. Do you know what it is? You cannot tell me that your population is much more than that of the Igbos. The Hausas the Igbos in Nigeria and the Hausas in Nigeria. The Igbos in Nigeria are much more than the population of any Hausa tribe in Nigeria. That is the fact. So if you are bringing that narrative to cause division, we understand what you are doing. We don't agree. The tax bill must be passed, and everybody must find their way to resource control. If it doesn't work, from resource control, we move on to regionalism. From regionalism, we move on to balkanization. I'm asking the president that he should conduct a population census. Let's know the actual population of these people so that we will know the truth now. That would be what will break their back. The Kamen's back will be broken. That particular population census will be what will break the Kamen's back. And by God's grace, Tinubu will spend 8 years. Since everybody want to become crazy, yeah. Normally there should be rule of law. Normally, INEC should be reformed. Normally, judiciary, everybody should do normal in Nigeria, but nobody can do normal. Nigeria is not meant to be one. Nigeria is not meant to be an entity. People are just managing it. But now, the management don't they see it is getting out of hand. So Tinubu spending 8 years will be another management that would eventually split Nigeria into shreds. I've said it before and I'll say it over and over again. Tinubu may be Nigeria's last president, and I mean what I'm saying. The North are not taking it easy because they are the ones that want Nigeria to be united, but their actions show otherwise. A region that is breeding terrorists, Boko Haram, Lakurawa, ISWAP, or what do they call it? Breeding terrorists, Fulani headers, breeding terrorists. A tribe. Do you think they want one Nigeria? They are doing that for domination and control. You see, usually under Buhari regime, December there's always attack in the Middle Belt. But now, we have not had such attacks. The last Christmas Eve was bloody and people died. Was a Christmas Eve. One year now is a Christmas Eve that people will never forget. But under Tinubu regime, all of a sudden, Fulani no more. They don't have power. That tells you a lot about these people. They thought this Muslim ticket will help them continue their agenda, but never knew that the Muslim ticket would disappoint them. Because in fact, they don't see Tinubu as a Muslim. Somebody said in Quran, if you marry a Christian, if a Muslim marry a Christian, that marriage is not consummated by Allah. That is what the Muslims are saying. If a Muslim marry a Christian, that marriage is not consummated by Allah. It's a fake marriage. So Tinubu married a Christian. They don't see Tinubu as a Muslim in their eyes. That's why they added Shetima, a call man that we found a terrorist in his house, Kabir Sokoto. Someone that we were looking for, Kabir Sokoto, they found in his house. So they wanted him to deputize Muslim ticket. They thought that this Muslim ticket, they will have arrived. Yes, we have arrived. We can perpetrate. They never knew that they were going to be stopped at every single time they want to push any agenda. We are not joining the Southwest because we are having the same agenda. We are joining the South because this thing that they are pushing would affect the Southeast if we don't join them and push back this narrative of whether it's extremism or not. No, and no. This particular thing would die a natural death. I don't want to say Islam would die a natural death, but normally people that run things like this and whatever that is being run like this will die a natural death, inshallah.